All right, what's going on, everyone? We got Dr. Stone. We got a new announcement for Boichi. He's apparently starting a manga on Jump Plus, which is huge for me because it's coming out February 7th, I think they said. It's either the 7th or the 9th. I want to say the 7th, but Boichi's coming out with a new manga. We got a new Dr. Stone episode today. We got a ton to talk about. We got Josh in the chat. Josh, what's going on? How you doing today? How am I doing? I'm having a great day, actually. I finished all of the February videos. Those are all sent out, currently being worked on. So today through about Saturday or Sunday is sort of a break period before I really dive into February. So today was kind of a rest and relaxation day. Excuse me. We got Justin in the chat. Justin, how you doing? So, Justin, how are we feeling about that Super Bowl? Looking a little scripted, if you ask me. We got Dual Masters Hideout. Hello, how you doing today? Pleasure to have you. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Excuse me, I got my nice hot cup, freshly brewed cup of chamomile tea to keep me warm and relaxed on this lovely Thursday afternoon. Coming to you live at the Shonen Ouji channel. But yeah, for anyone who plays Magic the Gathering, I built a new Magic the Gathering deck from scratch, a commander deck. And then I kind of I've been watching Star Wars The Clone Wars, the CGI animated series. I watched it as a kid, but I never watched the newer seasons. So I'm going back from episode 1 and watching the episodes. Told your friend Chiefs we're going to win. That Chiefs Bills game was so BS. That was so stupid. I like what Bill Burr said. I don't think it's rigged, but it's definitely being massaged. They're definitely being given a pat on the bum, as I would probably say. How do I feel about Boichi's Western story? Well, I want to talk about that because I have a few thoughts already, but I want to kind of see what you guys think. Did I watch today's episode? Xenocross Stan looked awesome. Yeah, I really like the on-screen chemistry between those two characters. Obviously, it's really good on the manga, but we have the two Seiyu voice actors. I don't know their names. I know the voice of Stanley is the voice of Gin from Bleach, Ichimaru. And then I looked up the voice actor for Xeno. He has had a bunch of roles, but they've mostly been minor roles or like side characters. He did play one character in Haikyuu, but I've never read or watched Haikyuu, so I'm not too familiar. And for a treat with Clone Wars, so Clone Wars is good. The animation, so in general, I'm not crazy about CGI, unless it's like a video game or a really real done movie. So CGI, I'm like, eh. And then especially it's CGI from like, what is it, 2000? Yeah, it's 2008. So even then it's like, eh. But the writing for the episodes is pretty good. So I finished season 1 today. I would say season 1 is like a solid, I want to say like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's good, not considering how dated the CGI is. I'd say the CGI is pretty good. But yeah, I'd say it's like a solid 6 or 7. I like Ahsoka a lot more than I did when I was a kid. Because as a kid, you're like, ew, this isn't Anakin. Get out of here, you stupid lady. Or maybe you don't. That's how I felt. I just wanted more Anakin. But when you get older, you kind of understand what Ahsoka's role is. So having that context And watching the show now, I like her character a lot more, and I'm a lot more excited to see how she grows throughout the course of the show. Excuse me. Um, Weird how it went from Cartoon Network to Disney. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with how that happened exactly. I just know, obviously, it was originally owned by Lucasfilms, and then Disney bought Star Wars, so that was a whole thing. But I am curious to see how that transition might affect the show as I'm watching it. When you get older, you understand things a lot more. Not even older, but just like the second time you go back to a story, once you have the context and you know the plot, like you don't have to think as much, so you notice a lot more things. And you're not like in such a rush to find out what happens. Um, the OST they played when Stan and Gen were going to the base, yeah, I tweeted about that today. They played, so Dr. Stone, it's, so TMS with Dr. Stone, they like to use their foundation of like stock soundtrack, which is amazing. But I like to, especially for like, you know, like a mainstream shonen series, I like to know that they're coming up with new music for each season. So for seasons 2 and 3, excuse me 1 second. For seasons 2 and 3, they didn't really make a ton of, well, season 2, considering it's only 11 episodes, they actually did a good job of coming up with more music. Season 3, there isn't really a lot more. Like, there's definitely new tracks, but it's considerably less so. Season 4, they're doing a pretty good job of. Granted, today makes what? Episode 4? So we still have like 8 or 9 more episodes. But, or 7 or 8 more episodes. But so far, they've had a lot of like swing music. So like I've seen people say like that Vegas era jazz music to match the poker and the OP. Then when they had the battle with Stanley in the plane today, they had a new rap track or like R&B track, like pop track, whatever you want to call it. And then, yeah, like you said, when they went to Zeno's base and they were walking through the mountains and into the cornfield, they had like a country song. It was like, I think it was guitar, but it was definitely like, you know, like country style singing, which is brand new to Dr. Stone on the surface, but it's very in theme with Dr. Stone because Dr. Stone does a really good job of like matching the music to the characters and the culture. So like all the like music in season 1, because you meet Ishigami Village, it's like a lot of like, you know, old like ancient style instruments, like a lot of drums and flutes and stuff like that. So yeah, I was really impressed with today's episode. I would probably give today's episode, what did I said? I think I said like an 8 out of 10 on Twitter. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. I was really impressed. We got Luke in the chat. Luke, how would you rate today's episode? If you watched it, I'm sure you watched it by now. What did you like about today's episode, and would you have made any changes? Speaking of which, now that we're essentially a third of the way into season 4, part 1, I will say this: I am already liking season 4 a lot more, slightly more than season 3. I was disappointed that they didn't do, like an hour-long special like they did for season 3. But that being said, the poker episode, or the Trans-Pacific episodes were all really good, and the North America episodes have been awesome. Blazing Boy, how you doing? Pleasure to have you. Good to see you. If you saw the new Dr. Stone episode, what did you think of it? I haven't watched it yet. Okay, that's fine. Personal reasoning. All right. Hope everything is okay. You don't have to privately message me. That's fine. If it's private, it's private. I hope everything is okay. But yeah, the one criticism I would have of season 4, which is not unique to Dr. Stone, is use of CGI. The animation overall seems to be improving. My only complaint about animation is how they use CGI. Like in today's episode, there was a shot of them going through the river, and they had a shot of like the forest, and that was like an actual like animated forest. That looked great. But one or two episodes, I think it was last week's episode, they had the shot of them in the river, and the woods were all CGI, and I was like, ooh, that does not look good at all. I stopped watching anime as a whole now. I'm reading Blue Lock volume. Well, not to be a troll, but from what I hear, I can understand why if you're a Blue Lock fan, you might be sworn off of anime and strictly manga. I heard season 2 of Blue Lock is disappointing, to say the least. Also, Party Jams, what's up? How you doing? If you saw it already, what did you think of today's episode? I'm pretty sure I saw you tweet about it today. Excuse me. So yeah, that's my thoughts overall on Dr. Stone. At some point, I need to reread. I know I already reread it. I need to make a habit of like reading the chapters that I know are going to get adapted, because I keep watching the episodes. Dr. Stone's really good about this. I keep watching the episodes and like thinking stuff is additional content, and then like being like, I don't know if this is new or I just don't remember it. It's tough to use CGI in a 2D world, and it has to feel seamless. I don't remember CGI in Promised Neverland. I would have to go back and look at that. Screw these adaptations. That sounds like a jaded Blue Lock fan if I've ever heard of one. But yeah, no, I hear you. I personally prefer manga to anime, although as one of the biggest Dr. Stone fans on the internet, I will say, as much as I love the Dr. Stone manga, I honestly prefer watching the anime, just because I like the experience of the voice actors, the soundtrack, and like just watching everything, in motion. That's not true for any anime. There's a lot of anime where I prefer the manga, but with Dr. Stone, I'm like 50-50, but like 1% of the time, I would probably say the anime is better. Will I check out Embers on Sunday? Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that. I'm definitely going to check out the first chapter. Did tweet about it. Great episode. This was a Gen episode, and I really liked that. I wish they did more showing people speaking English. So that's something I was confused about. And again, obviously, I don't speak Japanese. I don't read the original Japanese manga. Excuse me. I don't know if they changed that for the anime for convenience sake, or if they originally were speaking English with Gen and they changed it for the episode. I don't know. I would have to go back and look. For now, I'm just kind of watching it and letting it, transpire naturally. But at some point, I'm going to have to go back and look at that, because I feel like they changed it. We got Eddie Rayman. What's going on? As a manga reader, I've realized that Dr. Stone is way more enjoyable when you binge it. Waiting for new episodes is pure torture. I just want... Yeah, I can understand that. That's the mainstream position, and I don't have a problem with that. In fact, I'd say 45% of the time that's how I feel. But if a show is really, really good, I don't mind waiting because I like the experience of watching a show weekly because it feels more engaging to me that way. It's like I almost feel like an active participant in the show and especially in the community, because when you watch a show weekly that like comes out weekly, that you have a shared experience of with everyone else, where like you watch the episode and then you get the cliffhanger, and like cliffhangers are more meaningful because if you binge a show, cliffhangers are like, whatever. But when you have to wait, those cliffhangers hit a lot harder, and so you appreciate them and how well or poorly they're done. Is it true author's starting a Western now? Yeah, so I want to talk about that in a second, but let me read the rest of the comments. But apparently Boichi is starting a Wild West manga in Jump Plus soon. It would be... Where is it? I believe it's either next Friday or next Sunday. One Piece 1138 is probably the best chapter ending I have read in One Piece. Well, I would politely, you don't seem to be, but I would politely ask that you not spoil me, because I have not read spoilers. February, okay, so it would be next Friday. Thank you, Justin. I have not read spoilers. I have not read scans, so I really do not want to know anything about that chapter. Excuse me. Good to know the other series is a piano drama story. So wait, are there 2 manga starting on Sunday? I have all of Dr. Stone's volumes plus the reboot. Oh god, don't even get me started on the reboot. Freaking love Dr. Stone reboot. Hate that it's never going to get animated, but I love it. It's his style, comfort goes directions. I'm not sure what you mean. I feel like in verse they are speaking English, but present it as Japanese for the sake of readers. Like when Senku and Ukyo first spoke to each other. Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. The key scene for that was when Stanley initially engages Gen, because the way they talk sort of supports one way or the other. I would also have to go back and look to see which languages each character speaks and how fluent they are, or how proficient they are. Where are we? One Western that interests me is Ambush at... I'm going to murder this. Cimarron Pass? I would have to look that up. That sounds vaguely familiar. Well, there's 3 new manga batch coming. Oh, okay. I thought it was just... Are they all coming out on Sunday, or are they doing one at a time? Because usually I think they split them up. If the Japanese actors had to speak English all the time, it would be a pain for them. True. Dr. Stone is 3 cores. Yeah, season 4 is going to be 3 cores. I believe the second core. When does. Can somebody tell me so I don't have to look it up? When does core 2 of season 4 start? Like, when does season 4 come back after this first core? Excuse me. No, 2 new batch and 1 at a time. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up. I know in the volumes they list which languages each character speaks. They do it for the Kingdom of Science characters, and then I think they do it again for the Xeno characters. I think it's a couple of pages, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they split it up for each character. I could be wrong, though. It hasn't been announced yet for Core 2? I could have sworn they already said when Core 2 is supposed to come out. I might be crazy. All right. Well, I'm just going to chalk it up to Ouji is succumbing to the madness. Most unrealistic part of today's episode was how the hell did they drag that massive log down the stream? Yeah, I never quite understood how they did that in the manga. That's one of those things that I kind of just leave to suspension of disbelief because, you know, it's Senku. He does his science thing. And I mean, it's not that unreasonable. I don't know. I didn't question it that much because they have so many freakish characters who are like freakishly talented and freakishly strong. So like I didn't question it because in my head I'm like, okay, well how else are they gonna drag this plane? Because it's not buoyant, it's not waterproof, so it's not like they can just tie a rope to the plane and drag it in the water. A $2 donation from Josh. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. That means a lot. Speaking of donations, don't forget you can join the channel as a Shonen Ouji channel member. We don't have it up right now, but I have already made, literally saved on my computer, a Suica emoji for chat. We just need to get some more members, and then I can add it to the emojis available to members. Right now we have a Shonen Ouji emoji. We have a Robin reaction face. We have a Turbo Granny and Kitten dancing emoji. And then we have a Soul Eater emoji. It's Excalibur saying, "Fool." And then also, members get Dr. Stone Kingdom of Science symbol loyalty badges that upgrade with each level. So you start out with stone, and then it goes bronze, silver, gold, and then it's like platinum and shinier gold, and then there's diamond tiers. So make sure to become a member today. Lowest one is $2.99. Yeah, that's it. Question: when Senku hairstyle came up with, it's also, I need to read that again. Eddie, I'm not sure I understand your question. Is it also like Yugi's hairstyle? I'm not really sure what you mean. Anyway, yeah, so let's talk about Boichi's new manga. So I need to go to Twitter and look up the posts. I want to see if Boichi tweeted about it yet. Probably not. But let's see. No, he has not tweeted about it. That's fine. Boichi, artist of Dr. Stone, will be launching a new Western bi-weekly series. Okay, so that's something to take away. Excuse me, bi-weekly series titled The Martial King. This new series will start in Shonen Jump Plus on February 7th, so next Friday. There was another tweet where we got a summary plot. I have to find it. Where the heck is it? Did I save it? I hope I saved it. No, I did not. That's okay. So I think it's under my likes then. Let's check it out. Check it out. Okay, so according to Manga Mogura, which is one of the news/announcement accounts, Boichi will start a new Wild West manga series titled The Martial King on Jump Plus starting February 7th. So here is what we know about the story so far. And after this, I'll look to see if there's any like Oricon articles or Anime News Network articles. Wild West drama about a boy who claims to be the son of a vicious outlaw. He killed his father and crossed the desert with his corpse. So we know it's called The Martial King. We know it's about a boy. And it's a Wild West story. It's a Western. And we know that he kills his father, who is an outlaw, and drags his corpse across the desert. So already we have a vague idea of what this first chapter is going to look like. And I have a couple of thoughts. Since Boichi is doing a Western manga, what well-known manga is there? Westerners, aside from Wanted, Guns Blaze West, and Trigun? I'm not too sure. I think it's a relatively unexplored genre for manga. Technically, Golden Kamuy can be thrown in there because Golden Kamuy is like a Western in Japan. It's like in the same time period, just in Japan. And it's like a lot of the same tropes. Eden's what's good. Eden's, what did you think about the new Dr. Stone episode, if you saw it? I gave it like an 8 out of 10. I think it's really good. Also, we're talking about Boichi is getting a new Western manga in Jump Plus. I know you read Jump Plus manga, like the cultured intellectual that you are. So what are your thoughts on it? What questions do you have? It comes out next Friday. Any news on plans to release? So again, I would assume it's going to be on Manga Plus, and it would be... Gave it an 8? Okay, so we agree. I'm assuming it's going to be on Manga Plus. It'll come out next Friday, February 7th. And they said apparently it's bi-weekly, which implies something about the chapters. I wonder if it is a journey to bury the body from one side of the country to the other. It reminds me of Samurai Champloo with the journey to find the Sunflower Samurai. Why is it specifically being called a Western manga? It's being called a Western manga because it's like literally like a Western movie, like a Wild West story. So again, I'll read the description according to Manga Magura, one of the anime news accounts. Wild West drama about a boy who claims to be the son of a vicious outlaw. He killed his father and crossed the desert with his corpse. So here is my thought about what the story is going to be. It's called The Martial King. The boy kills his father, but his father is a vicious outlaw. Excuse me. So my thought is generally what the story is going to be about is as opposed. So rather than your typical outlaw, this will be a story about a marshal, like a U.S. marshal in the making. This young teenage character wants to be a marshal, and so he kills his father, and he's bringing him into officials, and like that will help him to become a U.S. marshal. And then the idea that it's called the Martial King seems to imply that he wants to be either the most famous or the most strongest U.S. marshal of his time. That's my thought generally about the story. I feel like that's a pretty safe guess. This coming out right after Drunk Bullet got axed is perfect timing. Yeah, was that the manga that like just ended last week? Old and American manga is something I didn't know I needed. Yeah, it's funny because I was just thinking about Westerns today, but when I heard that this was going to happen, I'm like, this is perfect. Billy the Kid? Yeah, but Billy the Kid is about, isn't he a bounty hunter? The Good, the Bad, and Huckleberry Hound. I do hope that Boichi does a lot of references to Western pop culture, so like movies and TV shows. Let's take a look at chat. Excuse me. Dr. Stone, what if ending? Yeah, I'm not going to read that just because of manga spoilers, but I'll scan it and give you my thoughts. I like that. That would be a nice spin-off series. 2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah, I'm mostly caught up on Weekly Shonen Jump, save like 45% of the magazine. As I finish that up, I want to start catching up on some of the Jump Plus manga. And I say some because obviously there's a ton of manga on Jump Plus, so there's no way I would catch up to all of them and then proceed to keep up with all of them. But Magilumiere, Marriage Toxin, I'm caught up on Centauria, I'm caught up on Mad. There's a bunch of other manga I need to read. It's time for Radiant. Oh yes, Radiant. We might need to do a Radiant stream while we're waiting for Dawn to Dawn. I'm gonna write that down. Also, Luke, I don't know which tweet or which comment you're talking about as far as the languages. All right, I wrote that down. New Eyes Exorcist? Yeah. I might try to do that this weekend, but New Eyes Exorcist for sure. Am I enjoying Centauria? So I don't want to give too many of my thoughts just because, spoiler alert, I do have a Centauria review in the works. It's been sent out. It's being edited. That'll be sometime in February. Um, I really like the art. Luke, I'll get to that in a second. I like the art. I really like the story. I would describe... So I've seen people say Centauria is like a mix of Berserk and Vinland Saga. I think style-wise, it kind of looks like Berserk. But other than that, it doesn't have anything really in common with Berserk. In fact, I feel like it's completely different from Berserk because Berserk is a very heavy manga and Centauria generally isn't that heavy. Like, I've read a lot of manga that feel heavier than Centauria. Centauria is like a dark fantasy mixed with slice of life. So I feel like it's just the dark fantasy version of Vinland Saga. Because Vinland Saga minus the violence really isn't that heavy of a story. Like, it's mature, but it's not that heavy. So I feel like Centauria is very, very good, but in the world of dark fantasy stories, I feel like it's, you know, like baby's first dark fantasy. I feel like it's a good place to start if you want to get into dark fantasy, but you're not ready for a story. You're not ready to meet Griffith, if that makes sense. All right, I have a lot of comments to read here. So Luke, you said, here's what I put. I found it in volume 20. Characters that can speak Japanese and English are Zeno, Senku Francois, Ryusui, Gen, Ukyo, and Tsukasa. So that would imply, not considering anything else about Stanley, that would imply that in today's episode, Stanley was actually speaking English, but they modified that scene to be more ambiguous. What's my opinion on AI anime / manga art? So in general, I have a neutral stance on AI. Generally, I'm against AI for art, but as far as like a business tool, I don't mind it for certain like non-creative things, if that makes sense. Excuse me. So if it's like something that should be, you know, should be providing jobs, works, credit, whatever, to artists, and they're giving it to AI people or to AI, then that's when I take issue. But if it's something like easy, stupid, trivial, whatever, I don't mind. Yeah, exactly. You can't just say Griffith. You have to say Griffith. Will I check out Sid Craft, Hematen, Shinobi Undercover, or Chojo? Yeah, I'm going to check out all of those manga. For those ones that you listed specifically, I want to read at least the first, like, 10 to 30 chapters. Oh, it's a dark fantasy title, Unexpected. Yeah, I mean, they make it pretty clear in the first chapter. Maybe it's not that clear from like the cover pictures, but yeah, it's very much a dark fantasy. But it's like Spy Family if it was a dark fantasy. Like, it's got scary monsters and it's fantasy, but it's very cozy. Yeah, I don't know what the future of AI looks like. Josh with another $2 donation. Also, is it not updating the super chat goal? I'm going to have to fix that later. But Josh, thank you again for another $2 donation. I really appreciate the support. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Also, you're welcome to ask some super chat questions. Can't wait Giguk reaction? Reaction to what? New chapter was good, mix of cozy and dark for Centauria. Um, which chapter was that? Was that chapter 38? Because I think I read that one already. Did that come out this week or last week or the week before? Because I just caught up last week. Have I read this webtoon, art by Boichi, Marco Polo's Travel to the Multiverse? No, I have not. I'm going to write that one down, though, because I've never heard of that. There's also... there's also... He hates slave troops? Yeah, I'm not really sure. Chapter 39? No. So I did not... Slave tropes. Oh, yeah, that's a little different. He hates slave tropes? When did he say that? Did he say that in a stream? I feel like that's a weird gripe to have. I believe Boichi also did a series in Weekly Shonen Sunday. Was that recent? I don't remember hearing about that. The only one I remember, besides like he was supposed to do that little like cooking one, he did one for like a gaming IP. It was like a fantasy thing. And on the cover it has like an elf looking girl. I'm gonna look that up. Boichi new fantasy manga. Oh, that's what it is. Super String Marco Polo's Travel to the Multiverse? Oh. Yeah, that feels like a weird translation because the untranslated one is Super String Isekai Kenbun Roko. So Marco Polo's Travel to the Multiverse? That doesn't seem like an accurate translation. But yeah, I have to read Super String because I know it's based off of like, I think it's like a video game IP or something. But obviously I love fantasy and I love Boichi, so I'm going to have to read that soon. Can someone tell me how many chapters it is? Or like how many volumes it is? I know it can't be that long because apparently he's already done with it, right? Is it done? Oh, that's the... Wait, that's Weekly Shonen Sunday? What? It says it's a webtoon. Now this is bothering me. Super String... Yeah, it says English publisher webtoon. Oh, no, you're right. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. So, in Japan, printed in Weekly Shonen Sunday. English publisher is webtoon. Okay, that makes sense. I dig it. I'm gonna have to read it. It's done, covered on Wikipedia. Okay, so it's got 4 volumes. I'm gonna have to binge that soon. Huh. Well, thank you for the clarification. Anything happening to your eternity? Yeah, I don't know what happened with that show. No one talking about 4 years. What? Hold on. Um, yeah, that's not confusing at all. Yeah, that title seems misleading to me. Yeah, I remember when they announced Super String. I just never read it when it first came out because it's not on Jump or anything, so it's kind of you have to like go out of your way to read it. Um, but it looks really cool. I know. Again, I've said it like 3 times now. I know it's not an original story. I know it's based off of some IP, some Korean IP, I think. But it looks really cool. Anyway, I feel like the topic of today's stream has barely been discussed. Um, Although it's not like we have a lot to go off of. So anyway, The Martial King comes out next Friday, drawn by Boichi. And so so as a matter of fact, something special about this one is I think this is Boichi's first manga in a long time that is completely just him. Like he's doing the writing, the art, everything, which is really, really cool because as much as I like Inagaki's writing style, excuse me, I feel like Boichi has a certain sense of creativity and personality that he only got to express so much of in Dr. Stone. Um, so we can probably infer that the main character killed his father so that he could become a marshal or a deputy, whatever. And the premise of the story is he wants to be like the Pirate King, but for U.S. Marshals in a Wild West manga. Um, and so the other thing is they're saying it's going to be a bi-weekly manga. So if it does stay bi-weekly, then what we can expect slash look forward to is longer chapters, because most manga, especially in the context of Jump Plus, if they're not coming out every week, unless they're like, Chainsaw Man or whatever, where it is basically weekly, they just take a lot of breaks. If it's only coming out like twice a month, then ideally that means the chapters are going to be averaging about 40 pages a chapter. Because if you've read Mad, the sci-fi manga, that one only comes out on average, well, as of late, it's only been coming out like twice a month. So if that's the case, then that would mean that the same would be true for the Martial King, because Mad only comes out like twice a month, and the chapters are 40 pages, sometimes as long as 60 pages. So I really hope that's the case for the Martial King, because a Boichi manga that is bi-weekly that we get 40 pages of would be insane. Also, do I have Christmas music going? Yes, it is. Skip to some World of Warcraft music. Good time to say everyone should get on Mad. Mad, I am caught up on. I highly recommend it. Again, don't want to spoil too much, but there will also be a Mad review in February, so look forward to that. But my elevator pitch for Mad is that it's almost like the sci-fi version of Fire Punch. It kind of looks like Jujutsu Kaisen. It kind of looks like Fujimoto style, but I do think it is a very unique art style, leaning more towards Western style art. Like, it reminds me a lot of something you would see in, say, The Walking Dead. And story-wise, it almost feels like Fire Punch, like bar for bar. That being said, I do slightly prefer it to Fire Punch. But again, look forward to that. Mad review and Centauria review going to be sick. Yeah, I tried to, because there isn't a ton going on for the anime season, so I tried to get some manga reviews in while we're sort of in a slow season. That being said, I would like to continue this trend and try to do at least 2 manga reviews a month. Obviously, I do a lot of anime and manga discussions, but I haven't really been doing a ton of manga reviews per se. These videos that I mentioned today, they're going to be like traditional like manga review videos. At least traditional in the Shonen Ouji sense. Not trying to be like anybody else. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. We talked about Marshall King. I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for Boichi to make his return to Jump, even though it's Jump Plus, but honestly, I kind of prefer it that way. Hopefully this means we get longer chapters. Great Dr. Stone episode today. Looking forward to next week's episode. There will be a February post, this month with Ouji post on Saturday, so you can look for a more in-depth update Saturday. But as far as what's coming up, there will be a Dr. Stone video this weekend, possibly tomorrow. I have to re-upload the Ichi the Witch video because on top of getting a copyright strike on the channel, I got that song demonetized because of I got that video demonetized because of the song in there. That's just YouTube. So, I got it fixed. I just have to take down that video. Unfortunately, that means I lose all of those great comments on there. But, hopefully everyone will come and support the re-upload. So if you see Ichi the Witch again, just know that's why that you're seeing it again. Oh, and Shonen Jump streams are coming back Sunday. Because obviously Shonen Jump is back. I kind of wanted to use this month to catch up on stuff on Sundays and kind of take a break on Sundays, considering we just got out of the busy season. But yeah, a video this weekend. There will be a re-upload of Ichi the Witch, and Shonen Jump streams are back Sundays, same time, 2:00. OG, always be yourself. Just stop it. Yeah, we might need to do I'm gonna feel it out. I'm gonna test the waters. I'm gonna test the waters for Blue Box because I feel like there was a big response to Blue Box, but I don't really, as passionately as I feel about Blue Box, I don't really have that much to say. It's been a while since I've read it, but I would have to revisit it and see how I feel. But there was a strong response about the Blue Box. So we'll have to do a discussion about that at some point. Have I ever thought about doing the discussion streams again when you have a guest? Yeah, I want to do that when I get my camera started back up. Um, I have the camera. It just I haven't had the time to set it up. Passionately, he says, yeah. Also regarding one of your videos about Dr. Stone, no one talking about the anime. It's just the nature of things. If no anime for a series is out, no one is really talking about it. Yeah, true. So with the Marshall King, do you think it might lean seinen? Um, yeah, because it's on Jump Plus, I do think the Marshall King will be a more mature story, especially because it's a Western. But again, I don't know because Jump Plus doesn't always mean more mature. Sometimes it just happens to be Jump Plus. Like for anyone who remembers, there was what was that one manga that ended shortly? Was it Diamond in the Rough? Yeah, Diamond in the Rough. That was on Jump Plus, and that wasn't a particularly dark manga. So it kind of depends. But statistically, it tends to be darker manga. But Edens, to answer your question, I would like to do guest spots on Sundays again. I just have to decide how I'm going to go about it because people aren't always available and I don't necessarily plan out the Sunday streams as much. But we'll see. I I probably want to get the camera set up first and then go from there. But the short answer is yes. I just don't know when. I never stop hating on Blue Box. Thank you, Party Jams. Diamond in the Rough did get a bit dark. Not sure what you mean there. Did it? I feel like it was. So I guess when I say dark, I should mean heavy, like Berserk heavy, like graphic. It wouldn't have to be every Sunday, just when you can get someone. Yeah, I wouldn't really make like a routine of it necessarily. It would just be whenever I can get people. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the stream. Again, look out for all the great stuff this weekend. Look out for an update post on Saturday. And don't forget to become a channel member. Custom emojis, Dr. Stone, custom loyalty badges. You get to pick which manga I cover in exclusive polls. You get exclusive updates, and you'll even get credited in videos. So if you want custom emojis and Dr. Stone badges, and if you want to see your name in the credits of future videos, make sure to sign up and become a Shonen OG channel member today. But thank you, everyone. Thanks for a great discussion, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.